All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. Want to talk about the latest headlines? We covered a little bit of this last night on Gematria Effect Sports if you watched the live stream, but want to cover it with more detail today. In the headlines, we have a new recreated character who's raised nearly $1 million who supposedly captured the George Floyd killing. And that character is Darnella Frazier, who we'll talk about in just a moment. But think about it. Last year, when the George Floyd video went viral, there was a guy who had clearly recorded the whole incident, and he was talking to the Asian officer, and he kept referring to him as bro, 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 bro. He must have said bro 1,000 times. Now, if you watch the video footage, like here's supposedly Darnella Frazier, the teenager, the 17-year-old girl. And notice how she became the story on the day of the George Floyd justice, as another story broke about another black teenage girl being killed by cops. But all of a sudden, it's not a man who captured it. It's a teenage girl who's now raised nearly $1 million because she was the one who supposedly recorded. But here's the video of supposedly her recording last year. Notice this is the exact same video as the guy, but you know what they did? They just muted out all the audio, and now they just have this silent recording. So with the volume all the way up, you hear nothing. Now it says Darnella Frazier here. This is the same video from the guy last year, except for last year, if they didn't take away the video, he's saying, bro, he's, it's just like, what in the world? They even have to reinvent a new character who filmed the thing? I mean, this is a joke. It's always a joke. The media is nothing but a joke. But where did this character name come from? Darnella Frazier. Okay, it's so easy to see. Note. Here, it must have, it went to a different video now, so that's why we heard noise in the background, but hold on, let me turn that off. Okay, so Darnella Frazier in Gematria equals 255, and remember, the George Floyd killing was supposedly Memorial Day, May 25th, a date written 25/5, like 255 in the majority of the world, plus the justice for George Floyd came April 20th, the day leaving 255 days left in the year, where all of a sudden she became the news story. I've been following this story all year. Never before did I hear a Darnella Frazier or that a woman filmed the killing. We all know who watched the video, and a lot of us watched the video several times analyzing it. It was a guy. So now we have some teenage girl who's the great hero, who's now raised nearly $1 million on her GoFundMe for capturing it. And again, no mention of the guy at all who actually filmed it. So she captured Floyd's final moments. And again, if you go down, a teen with a cell phone and sheer guts is credited for Derek Chauvin's murder conviction. And this is what they did all day yesterday in the media. They talked about how, thank God for cameras. Without the camera, the surveillance, there'd probably never be any justice. And again, just like I wrote about in my book, a huge chapter on the George Floyd killing, I said where all these stories come together, from coronavirus to 9/11 to George Floyd, it's all about building the surveillance police state. And, throughout the jury, being in session, we heard the stories about Minneapolis being fortified, police all over the place, military, National Guard. Jason in Minnesota documented on his channel what it looked like. So you got a police state, you got more cameras up, you got praise for cameras. But notice what they emphasized: a cell phone and sheer guts equals 110, like justice for George Floyd, like Minnesota's 110, like how the justice came on the 110th day of the year. And again, we talk about the Justice for George Floyd sign in the book. I believe it's page 311 in the book. Justice for George Floyd, 110, Minnesota, the other 110 rituals. But all this is just coded propaganda like it is every single day. Nothing about the George Floyd story was real. Not a single thing in the story was real. I doubt the actor Derek Chauvin is ever going to do a day in prison because it's theater. This is stage theater to divide the nation, and they just keep making it up as they go. And part of the reason to sub in a character like Darnella Frazier, again, it's a level of mockery. It's reminding that it's the United States of amnesia. Nobody really knows anything. Nobody remembers anything, just to make up a whole new story at the end of a completely contrived story. Just erase the guy who recorded the video, who kept saying bro, 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 like it was the only word he knew as he recorded, And now we have a fictional teenager who was never a part of the story before. But of course, her name is perfectly coded for the entire ritual. And I mean, I don't know about. It's just it's something about this character too. I mean, just look at the person. I mean, what's with it? I mean, what is with this person? I don't mean to judge appearances, but just the huge thick eyebrows kind of remind you of a dude, just sort of like clown makeup. I mean, again, mockery on top of mockery, and yeah, it's just so obvious. And then again, justice for George Floyd on the 110th day of the year. We talked about all the 110 connections with George Floyd all year. The story ends up ending on the 110th day of the year. Just perfect ritual is all it is. And again, ending on the day, leaving 255 days left in the year, like 25/5, like May 25th. But then, as the news of justice for George Floyd breaks, another story breaks out of Columbus, Ohio. And we've had several stories out of Columbus in recent days. But the killing of a black teenage girl by police. And her name was Ma'Khia Bryant, which is 201, like George Perry Floyd's 201, like Michael Brown's 201. Remember the killing of Lamar Ferguson right after the George Floyd story? Lamar Ferguson 201, like Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. But just all the 201s, the number of the Jesuits. And again, all this stuff is explained in the book. Where these numbers come from, why they use them ritualistically, how the Jesuits are the divide and conquer gang. But right as the George Floyd 201 story is coming to a conclusion, we get another police killing story with another 201 character. I mean, come on. Ma'Khia Bryant. And we just, also, this came on the 110th day of the year. So Columbus also has the 110 connection, just like justice for George Floyd, like Minnesota. And we were just talking about how Columbus has been busy in the news with shooting stories. You had the black teenager arrested in New York City carrying an AK-47 who was from a town just outside of Columbus. And again, Ohio's 47, and his name's Sadiq Teague's 47. And remember, the George Floyd guilty verdict for Derek Chauvin came exactly 47 weeks after the video was released May 26th. And they put up the headline right at 4:07 local that he was guilty on all 3 counts. But 47's always, it's happened in Times Square. Time has that gematria 47. Columbus also has the 47 connection. And Sadiq Teague of Canal, Winchester, like Winchester's the name of a gun, near Columbus, was arrested Friday afternoon. So this is just days ago. That was April 16th, which is the 106th day of the year. And what did I just do with it? Oh, Columbus got the 106, like Blacks 106, like Black Lives Matters 106, like I Can't Breathe 106. And now the focus is back on Columbus, with the Ma'Khia Bryant killing. 106. A lot of Black Lives Matter rituals. And with regards to her being 15 years old, 47 is the 15th prime. Again, Ohio, 47 prime number relationships. But you had the Sadiq Teague story. And again, Columbus. They put this news out April 17th, 2021, which was a date with 42 numerology, young black teenager. But then you also had this story, 1 dead, 5 wounded in shooting at Ohio Vigil. And if you read this story, it's also in Columbus. The incident happened Saturday in Columbus after a small group gathered for a vigil in the parking lot of a Dollar General store. Okay. So Ohio Vigil has that gematria of 106, like Columbus, like Black Lives Matter, like I Can't Breathe. Ohio Vigil's also got the 61, like Ohio, like Dollar General. And again, just 3 stories in the mainstream connecting to shootings out of Columbus. And I know there was another Ohio killing around Christmas time. The man's name was Hill. He was 47 years old, they said. And it wasn't Columbus, but I think it was an area near Columbus as well. So this is a big focus right now. And again, just federal agendas, District of Columbia, Columbus, Rome, all roads lead to Rome. The Jesuits serve Rome and the Pope. So anyhow, you got the Darnella Frazier story clearly made up and clearly encoded by the numbers. You got the Micaiah Bryant story the same day with the same old numbers. And again, coming on the back of Sadiq Teague in the Ohio Vigil shooting. Then again, you got justice for George Floyd on April 20th, the 110th day of the year, when we've been talking all year about the George Floyd case in 110. And remember Dave Chappelle's 110, and he put out the skit about George Floyd titled 8:46 because originally it was 8 minutes and 46 seconds on the neck. Then they added 43 more seconds. But also today, another shooting on a Wednesday, and this happened at a Wawa gas station in Pennsylvania in the town of Macungie. And just notice, a Macungie shooting on a Wednesday. Macungie's got the 3744 like Wednesday 3744 like shooting 4437. Wednesday shootings so often in the news, but right now there's literally a shooting in the news every day right now. It's been going on that way for a while. At least one per day. And at the beginning of the year, Biden said there'd be gun reform when they were doing the swearing in for Merrick Garland. He said there'd be gun reform, gun control, and you're getting a story every day. George W. Bush told you decades ago that, he wasn't the first president that had propaganda news stories to support his federal agendas. He said that's a thing other presidents have done too. Just to remind you how they have propaganda in the news to encourage you to go along with the federal agendas. And, for those of us who expose these things and question these things, we get taken down for misinformation. Again, the truth, according to big tech, is misinformation. That's where we are in the game right now. Facts are misinformation, lies, and big propaganda. That's all you're supposed to know about. It's how big tech, your government, and your nightly news would like it. So anyway, what else is new? Same numbers week after week. And shout out to Anthony C. Davison in the UK. He put this story together today in no time on London Bridge being down on Queen Elizabeth's 95th birthday. He lives over in the UK, so he had it all understood from the get-go, but it says, police were called to the busy commuter hub at 11:33 GMT. What do you know, 33 minutes after the police were called in the 11th hour? I mean, come on. Police, masonry, secrecy, order, federal, England, they're all 33. London divided into 33 neighborhood areas. But here's what's up with this. This comes on the Queen's birthday. Remember, Prince died on this day 5 years ago. But London Bridge was down on the Queen's 95th birthday, right? And this has been written about in their mainstream. Operation London Bridge is the code name for the plan when the Queen dies. Operation London Bridge. So we get this news about London Bridge on the Queen's 95th birthday. Well, the phrase London Bridge is down, which is associated, that's the code phrase when the Queen dies, that phrase is 95, and she just turned 95 today. London Bridge is down, 95. And I went back and dug up, by the way, what I added to this is Charles, Prince of Wales is 95, and that's her son who will become king when she dies, assuming he doesn't die before her. Keep in mind today her birthday has 66 date numerology. Queen Elizabeth 66. So is Charles. So is family. The word king in Jewish gematria is 66. And 95 is big with the Jesuits, and we figured out the Jesuits definitely run the royal family in the last year. Again, they run most things in this world, especially if it's on TV like the royal family. But London Bridge is down, the secret plan for the days after the Queen's death. This article is from March 17th, 2017. 317. Remember, 317 is the 66th prime number. Now her birthday falls on this 66 date numerology where, again, Queen Elizabeth 66, Charles is 66, King is 66. So this article, the day it was written, has me going, maybe this will be the Queen's last year. Her her age corresponds with the phrase. And then I noticed that from Charles' birthday, He'll turn 73 at the end of this year. We know that's the number connected to sacrifice, but I know from his birthday to today is 158 days. Remember, Freemasonry, 158. The Jesuits formed on 15/8. Boris Johnson's 158. Remember, Boris Johnson replaced Theresa May exactly 158 weeks after she took office. So it's a big secret society number. Just saw how that landed there with her son Charles. Of course, his father just passed by the numbers on April 9th. So, very good catch by Anthony, who I imagine he probably already knew that right away, and he saw that this morning and said, you got to be kidding me. He had it right up on his Twitter in no time. If you guys aren't following, his Twitter really should have a lot more followers, you guys. He does very great work. Anthony Davison. Anthony C. Davison. No D in his surname. It's Davison, not Davidson. So he's often collaborating with Rambo. But if you're on Twitter, definitely follow this guy. Great work always. And yeah, London Bridge is Down is the code name for when the Queen dies. So London Bridge is Down on her 95th birthday. I mean, come on. What are they trying to tell you there? A little foreshadowing. Remember, the Jesuits created the count of the 95 Theses recognized by Rome on September 27th, the day leaving 95 days left in the year. And I think that's all I got for this morning. If you missed last night's live stream on Gematria Effect Sports, covered a bunch on there. But yeah, it's just, the news. It's just bogus crap, and nobody questions anything. That's what I hate about it. Like, everyone should be going, who is Darnella Frazier? Darnella Frazier, I don't remember her recording the thing. It was a guy's voice. It was a man who kept saying bro. I mean, why isn't he getting the $1 million? Why isn't he getting all the praise? Who's this girl at the end of the story whose name just happens to be perfectly coded to go with the day of the supposed killing and the day the trial ends? Again, I mean, it's too bad that we live in a world of dummies, you guys, because if we didn't live in a world of dummies, people would understand that this is gospel, this is fact, and there's nothing truer being presented in the world right now. And there isn't. There really isn't, and everyone would see that if they weren't in some sort of state of retardation, whatever humanity is suffering from. Again, every single day, this work just shines light on what is really going on, and a really clear light. You got to be blind in all ways to not see it, and most people are. So, Darnella Frazier. Here, let's see, before I sign off here, if we got any new headlines. If not for her video, Chauvin might still be a police officer. Again, her video, it wasn't her video, it was a guy's video. Again, why such a fake story? Ohio police officer shot and killed a black teenage girl. That's what we already talked about. Chauvin is in prison, segregated housing unit for his safety. This reminds me after the I forget his name. There was a shooting in South Carolina. It was before the Dillon storm roof thing. Police officers shot a black man in the back, and then he ended up getting sent to prison, and then he ended up being cellmates with Dillon Stormroof, who shot up the church in Charleston. But there were so many stories of that police officer who shot the man in the back shown like this, with updates like this. I'm sure they're going to do the same thing with him. It's the latest of what's going on with his supposed prison sentence. And, again, just even the photos, it's like, what's with the all-gray background, Shouldn't he be up against the wall with the height thing? Okay. I'm just scanning the headlines. India's second COVID wave hits like a tsunami as hospitals buckle under weight. This news coming April 21st, the 111th day of the year. It's coming on the date with 66 and 46 numerology. Yeah. Missing submarine with 53 people on board in Indonesia. And they're saying the Senate will most likely flip in 2022. Well, they would know since our votes don't count and they got it all planned. And that'd be history repeating itself. Biden took office with the Democrats having the House, the Senate, and the executive branch, just like Obama did. And then in Obama's second term, the Senate flipped. So that'd be exactly like how it was when Obama was in office while Biden was vice president. Okay, Chrissy Teigen's friends with Meghan Markle. Important news. Cars are no longer going to sell for under the sticker price, they're saying. Again, the cost of everything is going up. So, anyway, we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. If your friends and family, if you share them this information and they think it's all a coincidence, just realize your friends and family are also retarded, as most people are. Again, just understand at least 90% of humanity is totally retarded, meaning they're totally helpless. All they do is believe in authority, and they're too dumb to see the obvious. So don't feel bad if they say anything to you. Again, it's just like if you didn't ride the short bus and you were getting made fun of by kids on the short bus, would you care? No, you wouldn't, because you're not on the short bus. You realize people on the short bus got problems. It's the same way you need to look at your friends and family who can't see the obvious, who fall for the news every day. These people are a special kind of stupid, and again, it's kind of one of those unexplained mysteries how so many can be so stupid, but I guess just feel blessed that you're not part of it. So we'll leave it there for now. We'll see what other news they give us on this day. And until next time, Truth Seeker.